The most challenging thing of introducing a restaurant to the Houston market was you're entering a market that's very well equipped. There's a lot of great restaurants here. And we set out on building a vibrant, exciting restaurant that had a menu that changed seasonally. So very reflective of Houston and the different culinary aspects that are here, and also delicious ingredients that we can get from all around Texas. We're gonna take away the white tablecloth, and you're not gonna wear a tie. And we're gonna turn up the music a little bit, to turn up the volume. I'm Aaron Bludorn. I'm the chef here at Bludorn here in Houston, Texas. I knew that I wanted to be a chef early on. I started working in a Greasy Spoon Diner on Bainbridge Island in Washington State, which is right across from Seattle, which is where I grew up. Fell in love with the camaraderie of a restaurant, with the fact that everything was merit-based, so if you worked hard, you moved up. As I went to college and worked in restaurants, I decided that my time was better spent in culinary school because I knew that this was the path for me. I moved to New York thinking I was going to stay a year and just get the New York experience as a cook, just put that on my resume. Before I knew it, it was 10 years. I lived in New York and I felt like a New Yorker for the first time. And it's funny, I always say, it took me 10 years to feel like a New Yorker. It took me 10 months to feel like a Houstonian. We had signed the lease and gotten everything going, investment money all in January. When this was a far-off tale in China, could have been just like the bird flu or all those other epidemics. And we demolished the entire restaurant. I'll tell you, I'll never forget the day in March when everything got locked down. I think it was the 13th or 14th. I drove here and I met with the GC, and I was looking out at a completely demolished restaurant and said to him, I'm like, well, I can't give it back to the landlord now. I want guests to see the versatility of Bludorn. When they come here, I want their first visit, I want them to experience everything from the oysters to the raw bar. And when I say oysters, I mean baked, fried, however you want it. We call them oysters every way. And I want you to have them with every sauce. I want you to have the full experience with pastas, a large meat course. But I want your second visit to be at the bar with a burger, watching an Astros game. I want your third experience to be sitting at the oyster bar with a seafood tower and a glass of white wine. I want your fourth experience to be with 5 of your best friends sitting around a table and sharing a tomahawk steak. I used to get so excited every time that I'd have a new dish going on the menu. I wouldn't be able to sleep the night before because I'd have everything prepped out. I'd know I was going to the restaurant. I'd put it together with some of the cooks. We brought it up before pre-shift, and boom, there it is, voila. The waitstaff goes out and sells it, and all of a sudden, you're selling out that night. Wow, that's awesome. And the best way I can describe it is opening a restaurant is like doing that on the big scale, So as a sous chef, I did that with one dish. As a chef, I did that with a full menu. And then as a owner, you're creating all of that. You're pulling all those pieces together. And it's the biggest rush. And I think that's why you want to do it again.